Morning, morning, Ajit. Good to see you. Welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. How are you, sir?
Great, great, great. आपका यूनिवर्सिटी कैसा है? सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ
All
तमिलनाडु.
right. All right, sir. It's good.
Good, good, good.
So, hi everyone. I think we are live on YouTube. So, we'll start now in another 20 seconds. So, yes. Okay. Okay. Vipin, Mr. Vipin, can I start?
Yeah.
I'll take it as a yes.
Ma'am, you can start.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, you can start.
Okay then. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this valedictory session of our 1 month long online faculty induction training orientation program for faculties in institutions of higher education. On behalf of Ramanujan College Teaching Learning Center and the organizing team of induction training program, I welcome our special guest, Dr. Shakila Samsu, our participants, our colleagues, our principal, Dr. S.P. Agarwal, as well as Director, TLC Ramanujan College. As we all are aware, and Dr. Krishna Sharma, Principal, PGDAV College. As we all are aware that this faculty induction program was held in collaboration with Central University of Tamil Nadu, VCSD University, Uttarakhand University of Horticulture and Forestry, and DB Science College, Gondia, Maharashtra. Finally, we have reached the final stage of this induction program. So without any delay and to begin with the formal proceedings of this valedictory session, I would like to request Dr. S.P. Agarwal, Principal and Director, TLC Ramanujan College, to kindly welcome our dignitaries and offer a formal welcome note.
Thank you, Shipra. Good morning and welcome to all the dignitaries and participants pan-India who are joining us in this valedictory function. Our chief guest today, Professor Ajit Kumar, Karnataka, who is VCSG, Uttarakhand University of Horticulture and Forestry. I think he will be joining us shortly, and also one of our collaborators in this program. Dr. Shakila Shamsu, former OSD Ministry of Education, and basically a backbone to this flagship program of Pandit Madan Mohan Malvi National Mission for Teachers and Teaching, under which we are organizing all these programs. She is the initial motivator from 2016, and in 2017, she was instrumental in giving this college this flagship scheme. She has run it till 2019 very successfully. And she is also instrumental in launching the National Education Policy 2020. See, the advantage of these schemes is she, being a teacher, understands what the functioning of colleges and universities is. So you can see there are a lot of things inherent in these two schemes which are teacher centering. And since the scheme has been launched, I believe thousands of teachers, rather I say lakhs of teachers, have already been trained both in the category of higher education as well as school education. I don't have the numbers, but large number, because we already have trained more than 70,000 teachers. So we can understand that there are a lot of TLCs and FDCs working in this direction. I can say one thing very clearly, that these training programs, which are very exhaustive and very rigorous, has changed the profile of our teachers and the learning outcome and the teaching outcome which is coming from different institutions. Because when we get reports from our teachers, especially I can say about our own college, most of them say that, sir, when we started our career, why this kind of training programs were not available, because that is changing our concept of teaching in the classroom. So that is the kind of thing which is happening with these programs. Professor Anjan Naidu, Principal, DB Science College, Gondia, Maharashtra, He's also one of the collaborators who's joining us. We have with us Dr. Krishna Sharma, Principal, PGDAV College, basically brain behind this program. And also my colleague, Nikhil, from who is director of this program, and Ajit joining from Central University of Tamil Nadu, another collaborator in this program, and Mr. Dalip Chaudhary from DB Science College, and other colleagues who have joined us, and all the participants. Once again, welcome to this valedictory function of 1 month faculty induction program / orientation program. Friends, let me tell you that I also said in the inauguration that since we started these training programs in 2017, in the first program of faculty induction, which was an offline program, and let me tell you that it happened in December during the break of 2017, and we had very difficult time in arranging 30 participants for these programs. And I had to request at least 30 principals and vice chancellors that please send one teacher, because nobody wanted to release the teacher for 1 month. And then I requested my own teachers, 5 of them, to join the program. And that is how we did it. And similar experience is there in the second and third program. We held 3 programs offline in various years. And we had similar kind of difficulties because people are not ready to release the teachers for these training. Though it took me a while to explain to the administrators that this is very important for the growth of the institution, and the intent is different what we have with HRDCs and the faculty other programs which were going on at that time. So, but when this pandemic started, well, we thought, let us develop an online program in this direction. And let me tell you that the first program attracted more than 6,000 teachers, and it was well taken and much more regressive than in offline mode. So we can understand the power of this technology. And then in the second program, the 4,000 teachers joined. Third program, more than 3,000. And today, more than 2,000 teachers. This is the 4th program going on. So you can understand that how technology has made it simpler and easier for everyone to join. Then, the portal, the EDX portal has made it easier to assess you, to join, to test you, to bring the result, and then issue the online certification on blockchain technology. So things have become better and useful for each one of us. Now, what I feel is that this kind of programs must all be online, and will be useful much more than what we have been doing, because a lot of synergy used to go and a lot of expenditure in doing the offline mode, because in this kind of programs we have to spend once on portal and then keep on doing these programs. Each program has some kind of innovation, and you can understand that each time we try to update these programs with different kind of lectures and different kind of topics, because though we have been given the guidelines to do the program on 12 modules, but these 12 modules we keep on changing. Like in this, we have done with graduate attributes, systematic literature review and meta-analysis. Communication has been emphasized, oral and written, stress management, and the science behind art of presenting, and emotionally intelligent teachers. So we have emphasized on these things. So what I can say about these programs is that these are very essential. And the objective of the ministry was that each and every newly joined teacher must do this. But of course, we could not make it compulsory, but still the teachers are being benefited. And now administrators are realizing the benefit of these programs. And also they are helping, these programs are helping in implementing the National Education Policy 2020. I will briefly speak on this, though we have Madam who will be elaborating on these things. But all of you must have gone through the national education policy, which is in 3 components: the school education, the higher education, and the professional education. And the 4 or 5 things which are key to all of us as a teacher is the structure of the program. Well, in a university, of course, in the school there is a structure, but I'm not getting into that. But in a university or college setup, the the structure is either 3+2, that means 3 for undergraduate degree, 2 for PG degree, or 4-year undergraduate degree plus 1 year as master's degree, and then multiple entry exit after 1 year, 2 year, and 3 years. That is also available. So flexibility has will improve further, and our responsibility in colleges and universities will be much more under that, and we have to pull our socks in order to implement this, because the main emphasis of the ministry is to create large multidisciplinary universities and colleges. So we are gearing up for that, and I'm sure that all of you must be gearing for this. Another important aspect is the curriculum, because that is the key. We should have the curriculum which is recent, which is new, which is of use to the industry, which is used to the the markets, the world as such. So curriculum should be revised, and all of us should be trained how to frame the curriculum for different courses. And third important thing which we always emphasize in these courses is the pedagogy. And pedagogy can be basically how to teach, is hands-on, experiential learning, flipped classroom, learning by doing. All these things are emphasized in national education policy. So we must work on this direction also. And another important thing which Madam was just referring to is the use of technology in teaching, which is the key in national education policy. And it is a blessing in disguise that COVID-19 made us to learn this, and all the educational platform or the new techniques like SWAM platform and other government initiatives are now getting proper recognition that we need them in order to train our students, in order to train our teachers and everyone else who is going through all this. So with this, once again I welcome all our dignitaries, especially Shakila ji, who has been, we always would like to listen to her because she has everything, she knows about these programs and the policy. So we would definitely like to hear from her and other dignitaries who are present with us and all the participants. Thank you very much. Over to Shipra.
Thank you so much, sir. Indeed, it has been a journey starting from the offline mode to the online mode. I believe that my screen is, visible to everyone.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, moving on and continuing in the direction what Dr. Agarwal was talking about the induction program. So, I would like to now present a very brief report of the past 30 days, which we have gone through, which we have, engaged in, which we have engaged with the participants. As the principal sir was saying, Ramanujan College had been organizing various programs to improve the skills of faculties across India. But when the pandemic hit the country, everything came to a standstill, and it actually felt like a dead end. But then humans have a way of, taking things in their stride, and so did the academic community. So in an attempt to do something new, the Teaching Learning Center of Ramanujan College went online. We started with a very first online induction in June, which was then followed by a second and third induction program in June and September respectively. And today we are at the culmination of the fourth one in series. The uniqueness of these inductions did not only come through its online mode, but also from the diverse participations of teachers across India, realizing the TLC motto of reaching the unreached. Even a present induction, as you can see on the screen, it has witnessed an inclusive participation from many untapped higher education institutions of India. And to make this whole process more efficient and more effective, the Ministry of Education's 4-quadrant approach for holding online courses, that approach had been followed. So our LMS was consisting of e-tutorials, e-contents, and MCQ quizzes, assignments, and also web resources. We further further what Dr. Agarwal was mentioning in his welcome note, we further divided the 12 modules which have been prescribed by the Ministry of Education into different micro topics for a more comprehensive training exercise. And the topics included or they covered rather the major themes of research and pedagogical development, where we introduced specifically for this induction sessions on different ways of doing literature, like systematic literature review and meta-analysis, and new tools to develop e-content amongst the other topics which you can very well see on the screen. We also brought discussions on topics ranging from the development of institutional values and cultivation of self-development techniques for the betterment of the faculties of higher education. So our topics range from roles and responsibilities of a teacher and qualities of an emotional, intelligent teacher to curriculum design, gender sensitization, stress management, and so on. But had it not been for the dedication of a knowledgeable and gracious resource person, this whole process of doing an online FIP wouldn't have been possible at all. So for an all-inclusive perspective on the different themes, we had the privilege of having knowledge bearers from different colleges of University of Delhi, Gandhigram University, Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, and other institutions like School of Meaningful Experiences, Pearl Academy, IGNCA, amongst others. This 1 month long program was consciously designed in a manner that it becomes a meaningful experience with a minimum hassle to the participants. Thus, our live sessions had been systematically organized, and they very consciously included a special interactive sessions with the participants. And besides this, we took extra care to hear and address the grievances of participants, not only through the formal mechanisms of mail, but also through other channels. And the result that we were able to successfully provide 3 live sessions, 24 recorded sessions, which was a culmination of about 164 video capsules, discussion forums on all the topics to build a more engaging learning environment, 19 assignments, 10 quizzes for practice and assessment. And this all was followed by a daily feedback report from our participants. There are a number of benefits, as Principal Sir was also talking about, there are a number of benefits of taking these programs on an online platform. Apart from the diverse participation and cost reduction, our learning management system has been very specifically and very consciously, it has integrated the best of both online and the offline world. So we did have the advantage of being self-paced, and we had an inbuilt feature of self-monitoring the individual progress. Participants could monitor themselves, their progress of quizzes and assignments. But we also made sure that we need to cultivate the warmth of fruitful engagements. And this was taken care by the discussion forums. These forums not only fulfill the 4-quadrant approach, but it actually strengthened this whole concept of collaborative ICT-based learning, which is, I think, is the need of an hour. Further, we took extra care to timely resolve all the queries through the formal mechanisms of mail also. So you can see that we received 884 queries as the presentation was being made, and we had resolved 852 by that time. And the result was that we got a very, very good number of YouTube viewership, which is changing and which is, increasing as we speak. But the most important aspect of this month-long induction is the response, or if I could say, rather responses we got from our participants. This beautiful analogy you can see on your screen by one of our participants speaks volume for itself. So to be more specific and to be more transparent, we also asked our participants a few questions regarding their perspective on different aspects of the FIP. And the response, it was overwhelming. 98.5% participants were quite happy with our portal on which the course was done. Almost the same percentage was very satisfied with the user interface as well. We asked the participants about the number of hours they devoted to the program, and about 88% had given between 3 to 5 hours. 98% felt that the sessions were nicely covered, with around the same percentage believing in the excellence of a resource persons. So overall, 98% participants tell us that the overall content of the program, they crossed a beyond satisfactory mark. I think it speaks for them itself. And majority of them agree that this faculty induction program has contributed to their knowledge addition. And let's just not go on this pie chart. This aspect of knowledge addition is very much reflected uh, in the words of the participants, and the participants which they shared what they felt the learning outcome was. So as you can read these three different learning outcomes on the screen, most of the participants have actually felt that the FIP has equipped them with alternative knowledge and has thus prepared them well for the changing environment of teaching and learning. And as some of them can say, the self-development programs has elevated their anxiety levels as well. And these are not just mere words. The numbers on your screen, they tell you the same story. More than 500 participants have developed their own MOOCs. 41K plus and over 20K quiz and assignments have been submitted, making around 2190 participants eligible for award of certification. These responses in terms of feedbacks and sincere completion of tasks, they are a very important component of the faculty induction program. But apart from this, what motivates us to continue our endeavor is this faith in us, where around 99% of the participants say that they will recommend joining the faculty induction program in Ramanujan College. So on this note, I'll end the presentation. Again, we are very thankful for the response of the participants, and thank you for very patiently bearing with me and hearing the whole presentation. To move with the proceedings of the day, we have a very distinguished guest of honor who has joined us today, Dr. Shakila Shamshu. Dr. Shakila Shamshu, as Principal Sir welcomed her, is our guest of honor for the session today. And she was formerly OSD in New Education Policy in the Department of Higher Education, Ministry of Education. She has been secretary to the Committee to Draft National Education Policy. She was also the nodal officer of the flagship Government of India scheme of National Mission on Teachers and Teaching. That's why we are actually having this faculty induction program right now. And during her tenure, 95 centers were approved for undertaking professional capacity building of faculties, and over 5 lakh faculties had been trained. New initiatives of leadership for academicians program, that is LEAD, and the very famous ARPIT course and faculty induction programs were implemented during her tenure. Prior to this, she held senior positions such as OSD in the Ministry of Education, Joint Secretary, Joint Advisor in Education and Planning Commission. Her core area covers education planning and policy making, teacher education, ICT, and open and distance learning and inclusive education. Her academic career spans over 39 years in teaching and academics in the University of Bombay and IGNOU, and over 14 years in the Government of India. Needless to say, apart from all of these things, Dr. Shamshu has, to her credit, a number of reputed research articles and books. So it is indeed a pleasure and a privilege, Dr. Shamshu, to have you here, and we really look forward to hearing from you. So I request you to please take over and share with the participants a few words.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Shipra, for your kind words. I have now realized that the bio I share must be still reduced because it's really elaborate when it is being read out in a webinar. Thank you, Professor Agarwal, for inviting me to the valedictory session. I find it very difficult to say no to the institutions whom I cradled for a very long time. And I also extend my welcome to the collaborating institutions, that is the Central University of Tamil Nadu, the Uttarakhand University for Horticulture, and I think the Dhotre Institute for my College for Science from Maharashtra. it's very interesting to see that you have got them from the different zones, one from Uttarakhand, one from Tamil Nadu, and one from Maharashtra. And you are in Delhi. And I think there's also DAV College, Dr. Krishna, who has been a part of this collaborative faculty induction program. It is indeed heartening for me in a journey which seems very fulfilling, because at that time when we talked about the faculty induction programs, it was very difficult to convince ministry to actually say that this would be a great value addition to the faculty who are joining higher education. You see, what happens is our subject knowledge, by virtue of the fact that we have done in-depth research in a particular discipline, is no doubt established, and it is by virtue of that that we are getting selected as assistant professors or lecturers, as we used to be called earlier. But what is really lacking is that these faculty, when they come into the teaching program, and the participants who are hearing me out will bear out, like we all learned it on the job, or we did it because we had a passion for teaching, and we said that, okay, as we go along teaching, we would be able to hone our teaching skills and so on. And at that time, the role of a teacher was not just that of a facilitator. The role of a teacher or a faculty was someone who was seen as passing on information at a time when the internet and the technology was not there. And therefore, the total foundation or the emphasis was on the content that needs to be transmitted, because students may not necessarily go to the library, or the library facility may not be there. So the teacher was seen as the repository of that knowledge, and that knowledge was being transmitted to the learner in the classroom situation. We have come a long way away from that. And the kind of pedagogical tools that we need to have actually changed, because one is we have moved to being more learner-centric, and we are trying to customize the learning outcomes to the needs of the learner in the current scenario of the economy and the society. And we are living in a highly competitive economy also. So the total transformative role of a teacher, from being an information giver to being a facilitator, to being a guide, to being a friend to the learner, and at the same time transmitting the knowledge, the correct capabilities and the skills to the learners to meet with the challenges of the 21st century, is what calls for programs that we call as the faculty induction programs. So the faculty induction program, which is of 1 month and which was being held in a residential manner when we actually launched it initially in 2017, June 2017 precisely. And when we made those modules of 12 modules and left it to the institutions, that 8 would be compulsorily taught and the remaining 4 could be taken as depending upon the the composition of the target group or the strength that the institution itself has to transmit that. We left that to the autonomy of the institution. We have largely recognized that whether it is a college or whether it is a university, which is a center of the Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching, they are all autonomous institutions and very well endowed to take the right decisions on how to conduct it. But what was most important was that to empower the faculty to handle the new responsibilities and not look at how they were taught as a student. And they will not be therefore replicating what their teachers did, but would be doing something very innovative and out of the box to meet the new needs of a learner who is living in the 21st century. Now, it is in this context that the Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya initiated on not just the teaching learning centers, but all the components. In fact, I am happy in the brochure, it has been elaborately explained what the scheme is about, and that it is not just about empowering teachers. And that's why I feel very pained when sometimes people refer Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and training. That's not it. Training is a word that I find has got cliched in many ways. It is teachers and teaching. And that is what is our core strength. We are teachers meant for teaching. And this kind of a program is basically providing the kind of capacity building that is needed and professional development that is needed for us to hone our teaching skills. And teaching over here, encompassing within it the idea of being a facilitator, of being able to use technology, of being an empathizer with the students, and at the same time trying to sort of leverage the available resources to the best extent possible so that the learning environment can be a very rich, vibrant one. Now, the NEP 2020, with which I have been very closely associated, I'm sure all of you as faculty have gone through it, and I don't really think I would be able to do any justice in the given time, Professor Agarwal, in the limited time to really do that. But I would try to tell in a snapshot what I wanted the participants and the other participating institutions. One is, if you get the time, read the 484-page document, which is the report of the committee of 2019. That is the committee's report headed by Dr. Kasturangan, which had members like Manjul Bhargav and Vasudha Kamath and Professor Kattimani, Dr. Kuril, Professor Sridhar, Mazhar Asif, KM Tripathi, and myself being a part of that committee. That report is a very, very exhaustive one. And if time permits, read that, because it is a very educative document. And this is where we would like to see the vision of our education being taken forward in the coming 20 to 30 years. Now, when you write a policy, you are forced by default to be very crisp and concise and only make specific policy statements. And that is why the 66-page document, which we have finally brought it down to, is not just a précis of the DNEP 2019, but has also taken on board the suggestions that came from various stakeholders, including universities and colleges and members of the parliament and academia and industry and so on. So the document is a comprehensive one, starting for learning, starting at early ages of age 3, going on up to 18 as far as the school education is concerned, in a new architecture, which is not a physical architecture, but a curricular and pedagogical architecture related to age-appropriate learning, which we have called the 5+3+3+4, where there is a foundational stage, a preparatory stage, a middle stage, and a secondary stage. And where the teaching, learning, and the pedagogical tools and the methods of assessment will actually will have to be totally revamped, because we are looking at flexible learning, allowing students to take on courses without having silo-based learning of curricular, co-curricular, extracurricular, and saying that all of these, whether it is music, whether it is sports, whether it is languages, whether it is pure sciences, applied sciences, all of it contribute to the holistic development of an individual. And therefore, to condemn a set of students saying that they are not good at academics, and sadly so, only in maths and science, that they are not good for anything in this world, and which maybe 20 years later, they all realized that that was such a fallacious way of looking at the kind of learning that we are living in, and that knowledge itself is something that is so all-encompassing. It includes the social aspects, it includes the environmental aspects, it includes the performing arts, it includes the vocational education, it includes so many other aspects that go to make a complete individual, and that it is not just learning mathematics or science that makes a complete individual. And therefore, the flowering of all the disciplines and doing away with the curricular, co-curricular, extracurricular hard separations, doing away with arts, science, and commerce separations, doing away with the separations between academics and vocational, are all inbuilt into the 5+3+3+4 curricular restructuring, and allowing students to move away from the rote learning to actually developing a scientific temper, a critical thinking, cognitive learning, and also having a spirit of inquiry with the 21st century skills of effective communication, collaborative learning, team spirit, and so on. Inherent in all this is the idea of actually having the value-based education, as well as the idea of sustainable living in coexistence. And no better place to talk about it than Ramanujam College, which has a focus on peace education and culture. Because if these are taken away from the individual, then you will have a very insensitive set of human beings who will not understand that human beings coexist and they cannot exist as individuals alone. And the COVID pandemic in a certain way has opened up our eyes to the understanding of the interdependence between people and between various other aspects that need to handle crises of this kind. And these are crises which seem to become a norm from now on, if we are to believe what we are hearing in the medical discussions that come onto the television, that this is just the beginning of a lot of other issues that may be coming about. Maybe because as human beings, we have raped the environment and we have not respected the climate, and we have not been able to understand that the nature has been created in a manner which needed to be preserved as a planet in that manner. And therefore, these kind of issues that are arising is because we have overstepped the limits as human beings and sort of exploited the potentials and exploited the nature in a manner that its original purposes are getting warped and creating new kinds of viruses, and therefore allowing us, therefore putting a challenge for us how to deal with it. But as Professor Agarwal mentioned, the COVID pandemic has been a blessing in disguise because it amplified and accelerated the use of technology. And that we are sitting today in a virtual faculty induction program with over 2,000 participants and across the length and breadth of this country is possible only because we've been able to leverage technology most effectively, cutting across numbers, cutting across distances, and at the same time making it a very enriched kind of an environment, learning environment. Now on the NEP 2020, if you are reading the document, read it in its totality, but the chapter 13 on energized, motivated and capable faculty, this is the chapter which as faculty, you should be able to relate to the maximum. I have always believed, even when I started my teaching career way back in 1981, that the teacher is the king or the queen in the classroom. And there is no one that can come between you and the students. And it is your capabilities of being able to maximize the potential of every learner in the class that can be done by using all kinds of pedagogical tools. Now, I may have been blessed with a lot of very good faculty who in their teaching had always tried to say that the textbook is already there and the reference books are already there for you to read what you need to know. But what we need to transmit to you is what you need to actually know beyond the textbooks and beyond what is there in the reference books that we read in the libraries. And therefore, the autonomy of the faculty in the classroom was always there as a reality. It is only that we have got ourselves so structured that this is the manner in which we will do it, that we fail to innovate within a classroom situation. The faculty induction program is only a kind of a, let us say, an exposure and an orientation to you to understand the aspects of curriculum designing, understand the aspects of teaching learning through the pedagogical tools and techniques, as well as the assessment methods, so that you are actually carrying out your tasks as a teacher in the most effective manner. And the NEP 2020 has said teachers will have the autonomy not only to frame the curricula. So you have a curricular structure, but when I say you have an autonomy to frame the curricula, it is the curricular approach, how you teach that. So suppose you're teaching, let us say, the Indian Constitution. It is not just a political science teacher going there and reading out what the Indian Constitution is. Let us understand and be respectful that a 19-year-old student can do that reading on one's own. And he doesn't need a teacher or she doesn't need a teacher to come and read that for him in the classroom. So what is it that you are going to tell them as the importance of that particular articles of the Indian Constitution is to relate that to the real life. Relate that to situations that happen. Always you have to contextualize how you would teach. it is therefore already known to you. All you have to do is the approach to the curricula. That is what we mean by giving you the autonomy. How you sort of maximize the learning outcome through different teaching methods, allow for students to do their projects. We are actually saying in the NEP that all undergraduate education will have internships. We want internships because the disconnect between the world of education and the world of work, and the question that the student is asking about the relevance of what he or she has learned. Because when he or she is going finally with a degree, that piece of paper, into the employment market, there is a huge disconnect between what was learned and what the world of work is asking. And therefore, it is very easy for us to make a statement that 40% of our engineering graduates are unemployable. Are we realizing the magnitude of the investment, private investment made by the parent, the investment in time and opportunity that the student has done, and the country that has done it, and the institution that has done it? And then we say very carelessly that they are unemployable. Why are they unemployable? It is because the system has not allowed us to change that. So who can do that change? Because if you teach within a context, if you allow the student to question that with a spirit of inquiry and use it for an application based with practical emphasis and practical knowledge of it, then only that student would be able to. At the age of 22, when the student is going out, mind you, 22 years, from age 3 onwards, which may have been 6 years when we studied, from age 6 to 22 is a huge learning curve. And then you say that this person is not fit for a job and therefore has to be unlearned from what he has learned so far. Who has been responsible? Let us hold ourselves responsible as teachers. Let us try to say that this is the curricula, but I will contextualize it. I will give them projects so that they understand what is the use of learning that. I will allow them to do something for the community through community-based projects and actually provoke them to think innovatively and develop what we may call their ability to create things and not just rote learn and memorize something without assimilating it, without understanding it, and for the sake of an examination, regurgitate it on the examination sheet of paper and then come out with a degree which is a worthless piece of paper. So we in the NEP 2020, in the chapter, have said that the autonomy of the teacher, the autonomy of the faculty is fully recognized for effective teaching learning, for using appropriate assessment methods which will assess learners' ability to apply that knowledge rather than rote learn, and therefore the kind of teaching learning methods that you will use and which you may have been exposed to in induction programs of this kind and multiple training programs that you will have will be used maximally to have learning outcomes which relate to real life situations so that when they go out into the world of work, they can get themselves gainfully employed. And in all this, the catalyst and the change maker is none other than you and me as teachers. And we need to therefore, and it is good that we have institutions which are recognizing this, that teachers are the critical pillar on which the entire educational edifice is standing. And that has to be leveraged by giving them the right kind of teaching tools, using technology that is necessary in today's context. And we wrote the chapter 23 that is on the use of technology in the education, and that was for data management, effective learning, as well as administration. But chapter 24 on digital learning was added in the month of March 2020, after we started realizing that the COVID pandemic is going to ask for a new normal in the way we live, in the way we teach, the way we interact, and so on. And therefore, we became realistic to the fact that a country like India has got a huge digital divide with the technological haves and the technological have-nots. And the emphasis only therefore on English language will do a great disservice to people who are living in the rural areas. India is ultimately an agrarian economy. And you can see that with the farmers' agitation that is going on right now. The fact that we live in the villages and the fact that these people may not know a word of English does not mean that they are not knowledgeable. Let us be very clear. Knowledge is not English. It is not synonymous to English. Knowledge can come in any regional language. And therefore, the importance of having content, e-content in regional languages is really a huge challenge, other than the fact that the lack of digital infrastructure in the institutions and the lack of access to digital devices by people living in the remote rural areas where internet penetration is not so there is all realities that we try to touch upon in chapter 24. So I am only trying to give you a context that this FIP program may have empowered you with the right kind of some skills, some knowledge areas, some familiarization with aspects of teaching, learning, research, and so on, including stress, which is a critical aspect of the issues that are affecting students today because of the isolation and the fact that there is a lot of psychological stress that students are facing, but also for the fact that we need to understand that these aspects of the education, the education system are the realities with which we need to tackle that. And as faculty, carry home the kind of learnings that you have into your own institutional context and use those learnings so that you are able to effectively contribute to the teaching learning processes, as well as the kind of methods of assessment, as well as using the digital learning platforms in the best manner possible. So I am not saying you are Atlas carrying the earth on your shoulders, but each one of you will contribute your might so as to become an effective teacher, so that there are better learning outcomes for the students in your classroom. Now, you could not have been asking for a better opportune time. On one hand, the NEP 2020 has been a very empowering document. It is a very visionary document. How much of it can get implemented is not something that is extraneous to you. Each one of us have an important role in trying to implement the NEP to the limited extent that you can contribute to that. And these opportunities that are coming about because of the COVID pandemic are things that you are both a learning experience, it is also a challenge, but I think as teachers, your preparedness to use technology, not just for better effective teaching learning processes, but also for assessments is very critical. We have seen in this pandemic, our online examinations are not becoming effective because we are not prepared as teachers for going in for the online examinations. So I think you need to really start looking at those aspects of trying to understand how you can have online assessments in formative stage as well as the summative stage. So what I am really sort of perturbed and disturbed is the fact that you have some assignments being given. There is not much of two-way interaction taking place. Students are doing it in their own way, and then some document is coming to you. That is not synchronous learning. Remote learning has to be synchronous, and remote learning, if it has to be synchronous, has to exploit a number of tools by which it can be done in an effective manner. So I would urge each one of you, from the learnings that you have had, to carry home the learnings. I have provoked you, I'm sure, but I'm not trying to really tell you that these are not doable things. Policy documents are no doubt aspirational documents, but each one of you, meaning including me, have a role in trying to translate that into reality, and it is doable. Many people told us in the committee that you all have asked for the moon, and how do we get it? So the path may be difficult, but it is definitely doable. Let me wish you all the very best in your future endeavors, and thank you to all the institutions for having given me an opportunity to share my thoughts with you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. Actually, you have provoked me at least because I always think that how can we change this open book examination which Delhi University has done for the last 2 semesters, which is in a way a farce situation, which I feel. And we are not pulling our socks. This is definite. All our teachers, we as teachers are responsible for this. We will have to do something drastically in order to improve this system of assessment. Your lecture has been very passionate and informative. I'm sure all our participants have learned something out of it, because not only you talked about the scheme, the role of the teacher, the new education policy briefly, whatever time you had at your disposal, but probably we will have to have in future programs 1 hour lecture from you on new education policy. Also, you have talked very passionately that we never feel that if there is a failure of our students, there is a no demand in the industry of our students, we are also partly responsible for this, and we will have to do something drastically in order to train them to the technology or to the skill which they require. So with this, ma'am, thank you very much. I'm sure because you have to leave, the great lecture you have given has really benefited all of us and our participants. Thank you very much once again.
Professor Agarwal, and please bear with me for not being able to remain through the program. I wish you all the very best, and all the institutions, and I definitely watch the recording if it is shared with me, so that I could hear to what the other university people who would be speaking today would be sharing their thoughts. Thank you very much. And yes, it is very right that I think we should have in any one of the programs a discussion on the NEP in a very elaborate manner, because faculty would definitely benefit from that. Thank you, and wish you all a very good day, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Surely we will share all the videos with you. Thank you, ma'am. Go ahead, Shipra.
Thank you, Dr. Shakila Shamsu. Even if she had to leave, we can say we all can agree that no one would have put it more in a more articulated fashion than her about the role of reviving the teaching learning environment to a more nuanced form of learning, unlearning, and then contextualizing it. On this note, we move forward, and now we have a few participants who has joined with us, who have been very gracious enough to, accept and join with us. And they would want to share their experience of this faculty induction program, 1 month induction program. I have just one request from the participants, that kindly be brief and crisp because of the paucity of time. So now, if I may invite Mr. Aditya from Gujarat to please share his experience with us.
Hello, Shipra ma'am. Myself, Assistant Professor Aditya Farsole from Sheikh PT Mahila College, Vanita Vishram, Surat, Gujarat. The first thing, that we hear, about faculty induction program is that, it basically is a good certification. Now, one thing that I would like to really, tell over here, that at the end of this program, I'm not just leaving with a certificate, but with actually becoming a functional tutor, if I may call myself that. The tools that were explained in the program, like Google Classrooms, curriculum, Google Docs, OBS, the voiceovers, the presentations, have really made me a more functional tutor, especially when it comes to the days of, in these times of pandemic, wherein we are having online lectures. The other thing that I would like to highlight over here is that I've been a part of NAC steering committee, wherein issues such as gender sensitization, emotional intelligence are seriously given an emphasis on. So I would really like to congratulate the framers of this syllabus for this faculty induction program, wherein they have been so inclusive of all the necessary aspects of a new age teacher, okay, which I believe myself am. And thank you so much for this opportunity to speak. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Aditya.
Ma'am, just one thing I would like to add, okay,
Please.
before I stop. In my staff room, in the staff room of my college, Ramanujan College has pretty much become like a brand. तो ओके रामानुजन कॉलेज अगर कर रहा है तो यू नो FIP बहुत अच्छा होगा, ओके फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम बहुत अच्छा होगा, कर लेते हैं, ओके कोई अगर वेबिनार है तो वो भी कर लेते हैं. So it has pretty much become like the brand, and I would like to really congratulate the IQAC of the Ramanujan College for doing justice to the internal quality assurance cell. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That is our purpose. You know, we want to achieve that. That is our perception. You know, definitely will improve with all this which you are sharing with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I think Dr. Kelata would be really happy listening to this.
Sure.
Thank you so much again. And now I invite Mr. Arjun Prakash from Karnataka to share his views with us.
Good morning, all. So it's a challenge that help you learn and earn. Good morning, one and all. I, Arjun Prakash, Assistant Professor at St. Aloysius College, Autonomous, Mangaluru. I take this opportunity to share my feedback on online induction program for Faculty of Higher Education organizing by Ramanujan College, University of Delhi. COVID-19, though is a challenging, has brought numerous opportunities to explore and learn new things. I, belonging to the fraternity of teachers, understand the challenges of delivering to the students as well as keeping them engaged during this pandemic. Remote teaching or learning was an emergency solution for all us fraternity. We all were seeking opportunities to guide transformation into digital classrooms. Thanks to the Ramanujan University for their new initiative of holding different FDPs induction programs. The entire program was not just effective, but was efficiently organized. It was an amazing and extremely informative, and I was delighted to be a part of this. The topics on Google Classrooms, e-content development, classroom management, etc. were relevant and have helped me personally to shift the nature of teaching learning process as per the need. I have definitely applied my learnings here in digital classroom management, and I'm happy about the outcome. I'm sure the organizers have been successful in meeting the expectation of the participants and also their objective of empowering and motivating the teachers to adopt this novel teaching learning. Wish many more programs as such from Ramanujan College will come, and I would like to thank the organizers for giving us an opportunity and giving me an opportunity to share my feedback, and best wishes to everyone. Let the learning process be in progress. Once again, thank you all. Have a good day. Thank you, sir, and thank you, madam.
Thank you, Arjun. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prakash. Thank you. Now I invite Dr. Celia Brizanga from Goa, to share her experience with us.
Now. Yes, good morning all.
Good morning. Hi, Dr. Brizanga.
Yeah. Myself, Dr. Celia Braganza from the Faculty of Chemistry at Kamal College, Goa. It is a really nice experience to have this FIP online from Ramanujan College. And really, I must say that Ramanujan College has not left a stone unturned towards teaching and developing faculty programs I've seen throughout this year. I've also been a part of a faculty development program in the month of July, and it was really amazing. It has always kept faculties engaged, and plus it is quite manageable. It was stress-free, and really it was manageable, and even the deadlines we were able to make up to with along with our teaching timetables and patterns continuing. So it was a good blend for us to learn also, and at the same time, use this applications in our teaching classrooms as well. Really, I must appreciate the quality education which was delivered throughout this course. Okay, the speakers were really professionals of high caliber, and I must say that they were really great. Also, I really appreciate the hands-on training which was provided in this course for pedagogical tools. We really enjoyed doing it, and yes, we will apply it to our classrooms and make teaching more interesting even throughout this lockdown and also towards this online teaching. It was a great opportunity, and thank you, the entire fraternity of Ramanujan College and all the collaborating institutes for giving this platform to us for a better learning. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks
Thank
a
you,
lot,
Doctor. Thank
Celia.
you so much.
Thanks.
Okay. So thank you so much, Dr. Bazanga. Now, sir, आप कुछ कहना चाहते हैं?
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. So now in the list of our participants, we have a last participant sharing his experience with us, Mr. Deepak Sharma from Jammu and Kashmir. Mr. Sharma, if I may invite you to please share your experiences with us. Mr. Sharma, you need to unmute yourself, please. I guess there is some problem connecting with your audio. Perhaps you may want to. Okay. Mr. Sharma, you're not audible actually.
Let us proceed.
Okay.
Shipra, let us proceed.
Yeah, let Mr. Sharma, you may rejoin later and we may try to incorporate you later. We can move on with the proceedings for the valedictory session right as of now. So for the session today, the Vice Chancellor of Uttarakhand University of Horticulture and Forestry, he has kindly accepted to be a chief guest for the session. And I would take this opportunity to invite Professor Arjit Kumar Karnatak, Vice Chancellor, VCSG, Uttarakhand University of Horticulture and Forestry, to share his thoughts with us. Professor Karnatak has more than 35 years of exposure in teaching and research. He has also served as a Vice Chancellor, Doon University, Dehradun, Dean Student Welfare, Director Monitoring, Chief Personal Officer, and Head of Departments, etc. He has also acted as a member of research degree committee of different universities like Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi, Gurukul Kangri University in Haridwar, and Kumaon University in Nainital. Presently, Professor Karnatak is a member of Board of Governance of Quantum University, Roorkee. Besides this, he also has completed several projects of ICAR as project leader. He has about 84 research papers to his credit in journals of national and international repute. He has supervised over 15 students for their doctoral thesis, and 20 students have completed MSc under his guidance. Professor Karnatak's achievements go beyond this, so-called academic sphere. He has to his credit the honor of establishing Apis mellifera species of honeybee in the Terai region, and has developed management practices for its culture, which has not only increased farmers' income by production of honey wax and other honey products, but it has also increased productivity in cross-pollinated crops. Apart from this, Professor Karnatak has to his credits a number of books which have been published to develop certificate in beekeeping course for Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi. He is also a life member, candidate of, life member of Indian Science Congress Association, Kolkata, and several other associations of academic repute. On this note, I request Professor Karnatak to kindly share his thoughts with us, sir.
Okay. So I am sorry there is one urgent call from ICAR because we are implementing the two systems in our university. One is academic management system, and another is learning management system.
Very good, sir. Very good.
So we are implementing two systems. That's why there was a call, and I'm a bit late, 1 second or 1 minute late.
No problem, sir. No
Sorry
problem.
for that. So, respected Dr. S.P. Agrawal ji, the principal of the college, the reputed college, Dr. Shakila Shamshuji, Dr. Anjan Naidu ji, participants from all universities, from different corners of the country, and dear friends. So good morning to all the distinguished people present in this prestigious meeting. I pray for you and your family a good health. This is very important nowadays.
Right, sir.
Even more important than education.
Correct, sir.
So the health is the primary concern, and then the education. See this art and science and the implementation of art and science to make a person expert in education, and the method of imparting education, which we call pedagogy, is a noble profession. Actually, the teaching, if in simple words, I must say that teaching is a very, very noble profession, and because it's a selfless service towards the society, which it entails. So many participants may raise question. It's not selfless service. The professors are getting good salaries. So you have to get salary. You have to get money from somewhere to feed your belly, to feed your family, to educate your family, because you are also one of the key persons from the society if you are a teacher. So that's why I'm telling this self-service. It is incumbent upon all of us to learn and impart that to our students. This Ramanujam College, it holds a distinction. Just now I was talking to Professor Chonyal, who is a expert in geology and geography, and he just visited me, and I told that there is a meeting with the College of Ramanujam. So he said that they organize very, very good webinars, and they have high reputation in Delhi. So then I said that, how you know? And he said that in our subjects also they hold good staff at their disposal. So the Ramanujam College is very, very popular, not among students, but among faculty also. And it holds a distinction in organizing exceptionally beneficial programs for the teaching fraternity and for the students. This course, online induction training for faculty in universities, colleges, and institutions of higher education, is organized by this Ramanujam College, the university, which belongs to University of Delhi, in collaboration with the Central University of Tamil Nadu. Our university is also participating in this, and then Dhote Bandhu Science College, Maharashtra. So right from Delhi to Maharashtra, see the length and breadth of the college, and right from the Himalayas, our Barsar University is just in Himalayas. So right from Himalayas to Delhi and to Maharashtra, and from every corner, the new teachers, the new budding teachers, they are coming here and receiving their training. So this is very interesting. See how to teach, what to teach, what material should be there, how you can make your teaching interesting. And these all are important beside the subject which you want to teach. The content is very, very important. But how you express the content, how you teach the content, how the content reaches to the mass, this is very, very important. And in this, the training is very, very useful. How to teach and how how to make slides, how to make programs, how to make teaching notes. Then I'm convinced that this 1 month training that started from 10th of November and which is ending today would have been an enriching experience for all of you. And this is really 1 month program is very important. And now you must have learned about how to interact with the students, whether the classroom teaching is enough, whether you want to have a specific time for discussions, for review, for asking students what you have taught in your last class, just to review the course program, and to finish up your program, prescribed program within the time. This is also important. Some teachers are very good teachers, but they never finish the course. The course outline which is suggested is not completed. And students, they have a problem that, sir, out of 4 portions, the 3 portions were only taught, and 1 portion was not taught by the teacher, because there was less time. So you have to manage your lectures within the time. So it is not that you are a good teacher and you are there for teaching only 3 sessions or 3 portions. So you are there for teaching 4 portions. So you have to manage the classes. How to manage the class? This is the art, and this art you have learned from Ramanujam College. So then the experience for you would have been good because of the wonderful 12 modules designed by the college for you, spanning across the field of responsibility, faculty, functioning of the university, designing best curriculum, online sources, mocks, and academic leadership. This module is designed to make a person master of all the trades. And this is important, that you are a teacher and you know not only teaching, you know the administration also. You are fit for doing other works which are important, academic works which are important for the college or the university. So it is the era of a complete man, where your institution wants from you to be a perfect person. If not perfect, then a fit person who can do tasks across the disciplines, doing tasks whether academic or administrative at the institute, sharing the responsibility of not only teaching, research, extension, but also administration and development activities. Because administration and development activities are the basic bones on which the body of the research stands. But yeah, skill gap is one of the most important major challenges that we are facing today. So skill development must be there besides the classroom teaching or the theoretical classes. So the emphasis must be on skill development. So skills are very important. They will be paying the incumbent and paying the teacher at a later stage also. The reason is that the way markets are evolving, the way the world is evolving, our education system is not matching the pace with that. And it is our duty that when the students step out from our campuses into the market, they are what the market demands them to be. I would like to congratulate the organizers and whole organizing team, especially the Honorable principal of the college, who is always there in all the programs, in all the lectures, for successfully completing the modules. I pray for you all, especially our trainees, a wonderful career ahead. Good luck. Good luck to you all. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Ajit Kumar. We have heard the view of an agriculture scientist and the importance of the classroom, because most of the time our teachers come, some teachers come that we have finished our course within 1 month. Another teacher will come, sir, 4 months are not enough. We could not do even 50%. So that is the art which is to be needed, that how to plan our class in such a way that within the time frame, within the parameters fixed for us, we should be able to do justice to the system. And you really talked about the various aspects which are important in a classroom setup, besides the scientific temperament and culmination of art and science, which is the part of new education policy. Let's not only talk about the STEM, but let us make art also part of the STEM. Sir, thank you very much for joining us today and accepting our invitation and joining hands with the college so that we could do some service to the teachers of this nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Shipra, go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Professor Karnatak. Your views on teaching definitely are important to be taken into cognizance while we are doing the classroom teaching. Even if we have reached into technical fields, we need to compete. We need to remember our responsibility as a teacher, not to just ignite the mind, but also to complete the syllabus on time. Finally, we have reached the stage in this valedictory session where we can happily say that it has been an enriching, engaging journey with all of you. Not only did you people, the participants of this course, learn things, I think with engaging with you all on a daily basis through discussion forums, through your mails, queries, and the live sessions, it has been a very learning journey for all of us as well. On this note, I invite Dr. Ashish Kumar Shukla, Assistant Professor, Department of Statistics, Ramanujan College, and Organizing Secretary of this Faculty Induction Program, to kindly deliver the formal vote of thanks. Dr. Shukla.
Thank you, Shipra ma'am, for giving me an opportunity to do the formal thanks to everyone who is directly or indirectly involved in this program to make it successful. So very good noon to all of you. On behalf of Ramanujan College and Organizing Committee of the program, I, Dr. Ashish Shukla, would like to say my special thanks to our program chief guest, Professor Karnatak sir, for accepting our invitation. And thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us and being with us. In my thank you row, I also like to thank our guest of honor, Dr. Sakila Shamsu, ma'am, for expressing her views about the program and NEP and taking out time for us from her busy schedule. I also like to thank our special guest, Dr. Anjan Naidu, Principal DV Science College, and Dr. KK Sharma, Principal PGDAB College, help us at every stage of the program. I also like to thank to our program collaborators, Central University of Tamil Nadu, Uttarakhand University of Horticulture and Forestry, Dote Bandhu Science College, Godia, Maharashtra, PGDAB College, University of Delhi. I also like to thank our resource persons for developing content of the program in the recorded videos and live sessions as well. I also thanks to our principal, Dr. S.P. Agarwal, who always motivating and guiding us all. Thank you so much, sir, for supporting and encouraging us always. I also like to thank coordinators from Collaborating Institute, Professor Dilip Chaudhary, DB Science College, Dr. Ajit Jaiswal, Associate Professor, Central University of Tamil Nadu, Dr. Manoj Kumar Rial, Assistant Professor, College of Forestry. I also like to thank Program Committee members, Dr. Nikhil Rajput, the Program Director, Dr. Bipin Rathi, Convener of the program, Dr. Sahil Pathak, Organizing Secretary, Dr. Sachin Tomar, Dr. Rajiv Nayan. Special thanks to Ms. Shipra Yadav, committee member, for conducting this valedictory session very well and also for her hard work during the entire program. I also like to thank to our non-teaching team who was being with us throughout the program, Mr. Rajesh Yadav, Mr. Jagota, Mr. Akash, Mr. Narendra. These people supported us always in looking after accounts and documentation work. I also like to thanks to our stakeholders of the program, our participants from different parts of the country. Thank you very much to all of us to being with us. Lastly, I say sorry if I forget to mention any name in my thank you row. Before closing this valedictory session, I want to give an important information to the participants that your e-certificate related information, like how can you download, when you can download your certificate, will be posted in official Telegram group. So please connect with us through this app. It will take, your certificate will publish within 10 days of from today. Now I formally close this valedictory session. Thank you once again to all of you. Stay safe and stay happy. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Shukla. We have actually, Principal Dr. Anjan Naidu with us from DB Science College. Professor Dr. Naidu, we have already actually wrapped up the valedictory session, but we'll be happy if you want to share some thoughts with us about the program. Sir, you are on mute. Please unmute yourself.
Now, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So thank you very much for giving me a chance to speak something. Wish you all the best for those who have completed this course successfully, and my all the best wishes for the participants. I hope that they get benefited out of this program, and I will be thankful to the principal and my good friend Sumit Ji Agarwal and that whole team of Ramanujan College for hosting such a wonderful event. And I feel that such events will be a need of an hour. And I feel DB Science College will always be thankful for accommodating the college in the list of the hosting. Thank you very much for listening me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you everyone for being such a gracious part of our journey of this 1 month long journey. We really hope as as the team of a faculty induction program that we were able to impart some of the objectives we aspired for, and the participants did had an enriching and a learning experience. And though Dr. Shukla has delivered a formal vote of thanks, I would like to thank him as well, because this FIP wouldn't have been possible without the efforts which Dr. Shukla put in the organization and the daily nitty-gritty of the sessions. So thank you so much. I think we can end the valedictory session formally now. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.